So in the last session, we talked about what? Contractarians, Hobbes, Locke and Rousseau. Hobbes, humanist, short, brutish, selfish. He needs to be governed. So should enter in a contract with the state. Then Locke brought some reforms. You can revolt, but sovereignty lies with the state. Then come Mr. Rousseau. What he said? Sovereignty lies with the people. General will be the people. This entire thing was a debate about rights and state. So we also analyze how our constitution, fundamental rights, UPSC, how so many cases happened in the Supreme Court. यही चल रहा था सब. Okay, today contractarian, contemporary contractarian. Contemporary contractarian, Mr. Locke, Miss John Rawls. We will also talk about feminist ethics today. That is applied ethics. Stick ethics. And someone please close the door. Thank you very much. See what Rawls says. He says human being is by its nature is a rational individual. Because of this rationality, while making decision, he will be just. He will ensure justice in any decision. He will be fair. Okay. This is about his human nature. He is also a contractarian. That is, ethics is based on contract. Okay, agreement. Contemporary contractarian. Now, why there is an agreement? He says you should follow two philosophies. I'll explain everything in detail. Just hear out. I want to give a broader picture. He says there are two philosophies to ensuring justice: wheel of ignorance and reflective equilibrium. Balance. Based on these two philosophy, he gives two principles: equality principle, and differential principle. If this principle are adhered to, there will be justice. That is theory of justice. Okay. Now, step by step. What he says gives two philosophies. Wheel of ignorance. Second, reflective equilibrium. These are philosophies. Then two principles. Okay, these two philosophy will ensure this. Then ethics, this forms the basis of his ethics based on justice. Okay, now what he says, while making any decision there should be a wheel of ignorance. I'll tell wheel of ignorance, that is, you should ignore the background of a person. You should ignore caste, religion, race, ethnicity. You should ignore this. You should decide on the basis of neutral behavior, merit base. Ignore wheel of ignorance. ठीक है? Starting point. Once you have ignored the background, ignore everything. Suppose, example, Bharat Ratna, people give. So there is a jury committee that decides who should be given Bharat Ratna. They, to objectively give Bharat Ratna, they should ignore all this. Caste, religion, race, ethnicity, background, ignore. ऐसा नहीं कि this caste or this religion should be given preference for Bharat Ratna. Ignore this. Then original point. Original point is about meeting of minds. 6 people are suppose in the committee. Meeting of minds. There should be a consensus among it. That is what should be the criteria. Like whether Indians only should get Bharat Ratna or citizens of other country also should get Bharat Ratna. Whether only alive person will get Bharat Ratna or even dead person can get Bharat Ratna. Criteria is defined here. So criteria is an original point where it has been consensusly decided what should be the criteria. Meeting of minds of these 6 people we have met. This is a consensus. Now reflective equilibrium. When this all is followed, then we decide whom should be given Bharat Ratna. Decision. This all follow. Decision is reflective equilibrium. It will reflect justice. Like Dr. Ambedkar given Bharat Ratna, people of the country will feel justice. Justice has been done. Reflective equilibrium. Reflection of justice. Reflection of this. Justice is about feeling. It not only should be done, it should be appear to be done. बस होना नहीं चाहिए, लगना भी चाहिए. If Rakhi Sawant is given Bharat Ratna, will it be justice? Injustice. Okay, this is this. Now, one more example, more relatable to you. Wheel of ignorance. Ignore race, religion, caste, background. UPSC personality test. 6 people are 6 or 5 people sit. They grill you, ask what not. Do they have prejudices? In ideal situation, they will ignore your caste, religion, race, ethnicity. They will grill you on the basis of merit, being neutral, ignorance of background. Original point. What is the criteria of sitting for the exam? You should be graduate. You should be a citizen of this country. To reach personality test, you should clear prelims. Prelim means reaching meeting point. Criteria is the meeting point. Reflective equilibrium. This merit-based selection, then justice. If rank 1 is a woman, suppose from marginalized background, poor background, people of this country will feel yes, justice has been done. Now, one more case, IS Maharashtra. Do you feel justice is there? Feeling of injustice. Even if she has been punished, there will be a feeling of injustice. ये पूरा process. Wheel of ignorance. Okay, maybe ignore the background. But original point criteria. All certificates should be genuine. Certificates are supposed to be turning out to be fake. Selection. Injustice, feeling of injustice among citizens. Okay, clear? This is clear. This will lead to other equality and differential principle. Wheel of ignorance, original point, reflective equilibrium. Now, based on this philosophy, he gives two principles. Any doubts here? फिर नहीं तो आगे गड़बड़ हो जाएगी. हाँ? Consensus, original point. This also consensus. हाँ, original point meet नहीं होगा ना, consensus होगा. Yes, it will reflect justice. Decision has been made finally following these processes, which is just. So it's reflective of justice, reflective equilibrium, social justice. It talks more in sense of social and economic justice. Meeting, हाँ, एक consensus built होना. What is should be the criteria? Consensus, meeting of minds. He gave two principles based on this equality principles. See, quality difference. What he says here, every person, irrespective of the caste, race, religion, anything, should have equality, should enjoy equality. Equality he interpreted in terms of rights. Everyone should have freedom of speech, liberty, thought, action. There should be irrespective of everyone. They should enjoy some rights. That is, in our country, those are fundamental rights. Equality principle. It's not that someone is from this background, so he will enjoy lesser rights, and someone from that background will enjoy more rights. Differential principle. This is clear. Equality. Differential. He says this is more applicable to socio-economic rights. So, under some situation, some people should be treated differently. Okay? Some situation, people should be treated differently in socio-economic sphere for socio-economic rights. Now, poor people should be treated differently. Rich people should be treated differently. Poor people are given food grains. Everyone doesn't get free food grains. Pradhan Mantri Garib Kalyan Yojana, 80 crore people get free food grains. Differential principle. Rich should be treated differently. Taxation. He further says, state should also treat them differently, but also those people who are well off have a duty towards the people who are poor. State and citizens also. One, state should treat differently to the well-off people should also have a responsibility towards the poor. Now, Ambani marriage, we all know. He also has a responsibility towards poor. How much he spent? Approx 5,000 crores or 1,400. Okay, 5,000 crores. इस देश की पॉपुलेशन है 140 करोड़. चैरिटी कर देते. Responsibility. Well-off people have a responsibility towards poor people. No justice. थोड़ा सा पॉवर्टी कितनी है इंडिया में? 80 करोड़ वेरी पुअर. शादी तो है एक दिन कर लेते, एक महीना से चल रहा. वल्गर डिस्प्ले ऑफ benefit, cost, ego needs. I gave you example of the mall yesterday. How they are after your money. So what he further says, there is resources should be redistributed. Resources should be redistributed. Should avoid concentration of wealth. कुछ लोगों के पास बहुत पैसा है, take their money, redistribute it. इंदिरा गांधी carried out nationalization of bank. पहले सारे बैंक प्राइवेट थे, रिच एंड वेल्दी के नीड्स ही मीट करते थे. ओनली देव फ्रेंड्स फैमिली उनको लोन दे दो. फार्मर्स वर नॉट गिवन लोन्स. इंदिरा गांधी नेशनलाइज्ड. रीडिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ वेल्थ. बैंक्स आर इन नाउ रूरल एरियाज. फार्मर्स गेट प्रायोरिटी क्रेडिट 4% पे, आई गेस. Redistribution of wealth. Our DPSP also says avoiding concentration of wealth. A principle. Top 10% of our country. How much percent of country's wealth? 60. Top 10% of our country earns around 60% of 60% of country's resources इनके हाथ में. Globally, it is saying 1% controls 90% of the wealth. 99% of the people have 10% of the wealth. Redistribution of wealth. Then there will be justice. Chandigarh, very good city. Good infra. Good footpaths. Also, cycle tracks. Okay, but why only one city? Why not in villages? Concentration of infrastructure. Why? India is not Chandigarh. Chandigarh is not India. Amenities of European cities, same. European cities, good cities are same infrastructure. No traffic. But why only Chandigarh? Villages, there are no roads, no electricity. Cycle track, cycle भी नहीं होती वहाँ पे. Okay, it's a union territory, capital of 2 states, but concentration of infrastructure. Develop all India, inclusive India, sustainable India. Why only few people have access to all amenities? What about the poor, the last man? Many people get shocked, especially villagers, when come to metro cities. They see a dog is living a very good life than us. Concentration of wealth. Leader of opposition during election used to say, yes, अदानी अंबानी का पैसा ले लूंगा, मैं गरीबों में बांट दूंगा. Redistribution of wealth. Theory of justice. This is justice. Government is also now doing redistribution of wealth, socio-economic. Pradhan Mantri Jan Kalyan Yojana, social justice. Today budget came. Priority 3 पढ़ो budget document. ह्यूमन रिसोर्स डेवलपमेंट एंड सोशल जस्टिस। प्रधानमंत्री जनजाति योजना कुछ लॉन्च की, सोशल जस्टिस। प्रधानमंत्री आवास योजना, सोशल जस्टिस। थोड़ा थोड़ा होता है, हाँ? या हमारे इसमें प्रिवेंशन कॉन्सेंट्रेशन ऑफ, नॉट एवरीवन, यू कैन ओन प्राइवेट वेल बट नॉट सो मच कॉन्सेंट्रेशन। वन मोर एग्जाम्पल, देश जब आजाद हुआ जमींदार बहुत थे, 100 200 200 1000 2000 एकड़ जमीन, कॉन्सेंट्रेशन। लैंड रिफॉर्म्स आए, गवर्नमेंट ने लैंड दे दी, गरीबों में बांट दी। देयर इज लैंड सीलिंग आल्सो आई गेस एनफोर्स बट नॉट एनफोर्स्ड। लोग भी हमारे चालाकी है, दे डिवाइडेड देयर फैमिली, ट्रांसफर द लैंड, लैंड सीलिंग नो यूज। That's why there are agriculture laborers in India without land, especially from SC/ST minorities. They are exploited even today. There is no distribution of wealth, no feeling of justice. When justice is there, people feel good. People say God is great. Matlab, there is a feeling of justice in our society. Now, Hathras case happened, 120 people died, 120, 150 government figures. Government, I guess, have booked the organizers of this. They haven't booked that Baba. He's on the run. इसको book करो, ठीक है? They were technically this, but he is also responsible. People should also have the feeling of justice. Justice feel like. One more, rail accidents are happening. Are people feeling justice? लोग मर गए, justice, moral responsibility we talked about, resignation of minister. Government also gives compensation, that is also to ensure justice. Some feel we are compensating you, monetary. Feel of justice, theory of justice, redistribution. This is theory of justice. Any problem? Any issues? Any doubts? क्या ये बना लिया सबने? I'll make again this. John Rawls in one diagram. No, he talks about social and economic. Now write down contemporary contrarian John Rawls theory of justice. Yes, this is theory of justice. He is also a contractarian. Simply because he advocates ethics based on an agreement on the philosophy of wheel of ignorance, and reflective equilibrium. He has also given two ethical principles. Number one, equality principle. Equality principle. Equality principle. Equal. Number two, differential principle. These two principles are based. If you think I'm going fast, please tell me. I'll dictate slow also. Okay. These two principles are based on the ethical premise of justice. What is justice? Write there. Write in brackets so you will not. What is justice? Justice. What is justice? Write further. Justice is about being fair. Being fair or having a reflective equilibrium. Fair, no, fair, F-A-R-E, fair. That fair means, that is different meaning, fair. Fair means just, yes. Reflective equilibrium. Or this wheel of ignorance, ignoring background, meeting of minds, then justice. Or consensus achieved by people on any subject matter, issue or problem. Or consensus. Or consensus achieved by people consensus, like agreement, consensus achieved by people on any subject matter, issues or problem. Issues or problem. John Rawls explains human nature especially through the sense of justice, through the process of wheel of ignorance, original point, and reflective equilibrium. John Rawls explains human nature, especially sense of justice, through the process of that is, people should think rationally. That is, people should think rationally to take any decision which can be considered as just or fair. Which can be considered as just and fair, and the premise for this decision making will be based on number 1, wheel of ignorance. People should not bring, right under wheel of ignorance, people should not bring their background, especially caste, race, religion, etc. in their decision making. Decision making while taking decisions. That is, they should not be biased. And should play a neutral role. Neutral role. Example, that Bharat Ratna, I'll dictate. If a jury of 5 members which are responsible for taking decisions, if a jury of 5 members are responsible for taking decision on shortlisting the persons for Bharat Ratna, on shortlisting the persons for Bharat Ratna. Jury members should not think about their background. This is clear. Wheel of ignorance, no background, biasness, no prejudices. Second, original point. Original point. Now here, original point. Jury members should have meeting of minds. Meeting of minds at certain points. Meeting of mind. That is basis which will become basis that will which will become basis. Factors for shortlisting the persons. Criteria we talked about, that will be known as original point. That will be known as original point. Basis which will become factors for shortlisting the person, and if all agree, that will be known as original point. And if all agree, that will be known as original point. Meeting of minds, they will discuss what should be the criteria. If they agree, that will be the criteria known as original point. We will discuss in criticism. ये criticism. Very good thinking. Example, we'll hold that Bharat Ratna example and we'll emasculate that. Further we'll divide. Okay, example, whether only Indian citizens, that is, this questions will be raised if there is meeting point, then whether only Indian citizens should be considered for Bharat Ratna. Whether person who is alive or dead should be considered for Bharat Ratna. Whether only Indian citizens should be considered for Bharat Ratna. Whether a person is alive or dead should be considered for Bharat Ratna. When this criteria is set and accepted, when this criteria is set and accepted, original point has been reached. When this criteria is set and accepted, original point is reached.
There's a jury of people in a criminal procedure too. There's a jury of common people who judge that person. But there are other factors affecting their judgment. So how can they be consent?
What he says, human nature is rational. पहले rational होना चाहिए jury में. Rational हो गए then they'll reach consensus. वो Hobbes वाले humans नहीं चाहिए, nasty. वो कभी consensus नहीं होगा. Okay. Lot of writing is there, I know, but it's for your understanding only. प्री के बाद खोलोगे तो थोड़े समझने में चीजें डिफिकल्ट होगी. That's why I'm giving a detailed notes. So even if you read, you can visualize the class and understand. It will save your time. If you watch video, 2 hours will be only for video. This you can read in half an hour. Okay. That's why I'm giving some detailed notes. So don't get angry on me. So much writing. Where was? सती हाँ. So consensus किसमें था? कुछ लोगों में, सब में था. और were they rational? Rational नहीं थे ना? No. Sati system very bad. Morality थी. We'll discuss in ethics and moral. Last case 2016, 2018. Recently happened. Once I also read. Last year also, a woman engineer lost her husband. Her parents were forcing her for sex. Even last year. See, our country. Very fascinating country. And very disturbing also. Third, reflective equilibrium. It is a set of consensus by the jury members. It is a set of consensus by the jury members. That is agreement for established standards. Established standards. Established standards. Here we have established standards. Criteria has been decided. Here agreement will come. Okay. Example, selecting person for Bharat Ratna. Example, selecting person for Bharat Ratna. This equilibrium should be viewed by the people as just and fair. As just and fair. then it becomes justice. When Dr. Ambedkar was awarded Bharat Ratna, people felt a sense of justice. Right, Dr. of Atal Bihari Vajpayee, whoever name you want to write, right? Kapoor Singh Thakur, this year. Bracket में भी डाल दो, if undeserving person is given Bharat Ratna, people won't feel a sense of justice. Right here, any name whom you feel is undeserving for your understanding. For constitution and everything. But if Adani ji is given Bharat Ratna, sense of justice, no? मिल भी सकता है, we don't know. Now two principles he gave, equality and differential. लिख लो उस पे भी. He gave two principles. He gave two principles based on reflective equilibrium. Number one, equality principle. Every person should enjoy. Equality principle के अंदर every person should enjoy equal rights in terms of freedom of speech and privacy. Freedom of speech, privacy. So everyone should have, tribals, SC/STs, everyone should have same rights. Now second, differential principle. Applied in case of socio-economic rights. Differential principle, second, applied in the case of socio-economic rights. Different people should be treated differently. Different people should be treated differently. अलग लोग को अलग ट्रीटमेंट मिलनी चाहिए, especially the poor people. He was advocating responsibility. He was advocating responsibility of the state He was advocating the responsibility of the state towards poor people. Also, responsibility of better off people. Better off people. अदानी जी, अंबानी जी, ब्रैकेट में लिख लो समझने के लिए. Towards worse off people. Who people who are worse off. Worst off. Worse off. The poorest people. So for this, there should be resource distribution. That is right. Resources should be redistributed. Resources should be redistributed to so that there is justice towards worse of people. Justice towards worse of people. Poor people should feel there is justice for them. Yes, I was going to tell reservation is based on this principle. Centuries of discrimination for some sections of our population. So, reservation is based on theory of justice. बांग्लादेश में अभी बहुत हो रहा है रिजर्वेशन पे. See now concept. See, whenever there is a conflict between these two, which principle should be preferred? Differential. Reason? Okay. 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 So they should not have individual rights, freedom, liberty. No. You say you have to choose between one. If there is a conflict between two, one should be chosen. Equality. Why? Louder a bit. राइट्स होने चाहिए ज्यादा. प्रायोरिटी राइट्स को होने चाहिए. इक्वालिटी समझ रहे हो? लिबर्टी, इंडिविजुअल राइट्स. यस. दोनों में से एक चूज कर. व्हाई?
Sir, because as you mentioned, harmonization with that people are not content the reservation दिया जा रहा है, इतनी सी category point दिया है, जिसे नहीं दिया जा रहा है, so equality should exist, especially in jobs.
I will rephrase. For poor people, for SC STs, दोनों में conflict है. किसको preference? Equality means every individual should have individual rights. Everyone has freedom of liberty, thought, action, right to privacy. This equality is talking about in terms of rights. In differential is different people should be treated differently. That is, they should get food grains reservation. We are talking in terms of poor people. दोनों में से इनको कौन सा एक ही देना है तो देना. Foolhardiness, not courage. Foolhardiness. Golden mean is courage. Not Also, I read further. See, there was a belief in that community. If you bite the snake back, the venom gets neutralized. Not rational thinking. Morality, maybe social morality, not rational thinking. Huh? He's hospitalized. Treatment is going on. His photo came. He's smiling. Okay, also. Interesting people of our country. Maybe snake in India. Related against snake bite. Yes, see, hospital bed. Interesting people of a country. Man survives. Foolhardy behavior. Social morality also. There was a belief that venom gets neutralized because of ignorance, rational thinking, no education. Yes, he prefers equality. I told you not, the human by its very nature has some rights, human dignity, right to privacy. You cannot violate his human's rights for the sake of socio-economic benefits. Because you are a human, you have some rights. You are not an animal or tree. That entire debate of polity, I told you, what was that? 24th Amendment, 25th Amendment. We will, to implement socialist principles, fundamental rights will remain subservient. So rights were compromised. Then judgment came. Fundamental rights are supreme to DPSP. You cannot violate rights of individual. Minerva means balancing. There should be a balance and fundamental rights will remain supreme. Here, equality principle was given preference. Now, one more thing. Let's compare with him with utilitarian. Batao abhi, utilitarian, you know. Theory of justice. Think in terms of ethical altruism. तो तुम थोड़ा समझ पाओ. One at a time. I'll come to it. Think in terms of ethical altruism. Okay, negative. Negative, not that negative. They consider self-interest. So, नहीं है नहीं. Ethical altruism.
The man is required a lot of property, a lot of life. Yes, pleasure is satisfied. But in the justice, one has almost 90% of that.
Concentration of wealth. Okay, yes. Okay, but ये थोड़ा नीचे आएगा. Think ethical altruism. Are you not revising? वहाँ पे दिया था statement.
So,
Yes, very good. They talk about greatest good for greatest number of people. Greatest good to greatest number of people. Some will be worse off. कुछ लोग तो पीड़ा होगी. So tribal land is acquired, industry is set up here. 50 tribals are protesting. Huge industry, taxes for state, revenue generation, employment. Thousands of people are employed here. Crores of revenues. Greatest good for greatest number of people. What about this? Where is justice for them? So in greatest good to greatest number of people, someone will be worse off. But he says justice for all. Socio-economic justice.
will take the same type of justice.
इनको differential principle. Poor should be treated differently. We have तो नहीं करनी है ना. Forest rights है इसलिए. This should get priority. Poor people. पर resources सब tribal land में हमारे देश में coal energy. So integrate them gradually. Provide them compensation. Forest rights इनके protect करो. That should be the path. Balance between both also should be there.
There is a law for requirement. So they are they are dissatisfied in lands, but they are
But feeling of justice नहीं, human rights से नहीं. Yes, procedure भी सही होना चाहिए. Procedural justice will come back to that. There should be procedural justice also, redistributive justice, organizational justice. I'll explain. We'll come. That's but justice भी होना चाहिए. There are different views. No? Hobbes का ये कब this should be followed. I think theory of justice, justice for all. This also promotes survival of the fittest. जो fit है वही survive करेगा. Utilitarian, no sorry, I forgot to tell yesterday. Hobbes was what? People are unable to govern. Humans are nasty. This was also a justification for colonialism. Indians are unworthy, untrustful. Cornwallis made a statement. Indians are very corrupt, not trustable. That's why in civil services only white men should be there. Brown people पीछे होने चाहिए. They are very nasty. White man's burden. White man's burden is to civilize brown and black people. American slavery, African slavery is justified from this. Ungovernable. But human has human rights. And Indians, docile people, accepted also that. 150 years, how anyone can rule? Lack of courage. Gandhiji raised the conscience of the people. He knew they are fooling us. Moderates, economic drain theory. But economic drain theory दे कितने लोग पढ़ पा रहे थे तभी? Economic drain theory, Dada Bhai Lawrence. How many people would understand? That's why Gandhi became the mass leader. He connected with the masses. For 1 year, he traveled just to India. Samjhe is desh. Discovery of India also. Nehru also traveled India. He was very surprised. Oxford educated. Very surprised. People of this country may be illiterate, but they are full of wisdom. समझदार लोग हैं हमारे देश. Yes.
So people realize that they established a judicial system because they were servants of that. So I think people didn't realize it.
They didn't realize it. People were docile that time. कोई leader भी तो होना चाहिए इनको realize करना. Before our freedom struggle was concentrated. स्वदेशी movement बंगाल थोड़ा ऐसा. मास लीडर्स जब गांधी जी आए तब पूरे देश में नेशनलिज्म वाली फीलिंग पता चला कि ऐसे ऐसे हो रहा है. मॉडर्न इंडियन हिस्ट्री लर्न हो गया तुम्हारा हिस्ट्री? जब होगा तभी. ओके, ये डिफरेंस आर राइट प्रॉपरली. Socio-economic rights of the poor, redistribution of wealth, egoism, self-interest. There will be concentration of wealth here. Greatest good for greatest number of people, justice for all. Survival of fittest, socio-economic rights for the poor. Socialism, social justice, not total leftist, welfare state, yes. Right now, Rawls is a strong critic of utilitarianism. Rawls is a strong critic of utilitarianism. As strong critic of utilitarianism, strong critic of this, as the approach of GGGNP, greatest good for greatest number of people, some will be worse off. As the approach of greatest good for greatest number of people, some will be worst off. Right, the tribal land example. ये बना लिया ना सबने? तो in case of conflict between two principles, two principles you understand, na? Equality and differential. इसमें first principle should be given preference over the second. As he considers political rights essential for individual, political rights essential for individual as they are sacrosanct in nature. That is, they are sacrosanct in nature. They are sacred, sacrosanct, sanctity, sacred, sacrosanct. That is, state cannot take away political rights. State cannot take away political rights in name of socio-economic benefits. Now you tell me the application of this. General context में क्या application ये theory of justice का कहाँ apply? General courtesy, there should be a feeling of justice. Everyone should have a feeling of justice. Feeling of justice नहीं रहेगा तो there will people will think something is not wrong. Justice should be there. Feeling, it is a feeling, not कि process follow हो गया ये हो गया. ठीक है. Individual level पे people should be fair when treating other individuals, other humans. Don't be selfish. Be just and fair. Don't be prejudiced because someone from this region, that is individual. Now governance is important. See, you guys now tell. थोड़ा thought provoke करो तुम्हारे. Governance में कैसे हो सकता है? One is schemes, social justice, important. What is the application of theory of justice for governance? Governance. Yes, justified from that. Yes, equality, adult franchise. See, that is yes, very good. But this has further application for procedural justice, redistributive justice, organizational justice. Okay, justice, procedural, redistributive, organizational. See what procedural says, that procedure should be fair. Process should also be fair. That is, means should also be fair. Process of selecting an IS should be fair. Be unfair. हो गया. Sense of injustice. Redistributive, we already discussed. Redistribution of wealth, no concentration of wealth. Organizational, थोड़ा important है. Civil services, one organization. That organization should have a sense of justice. Everyone in the organization should feel justice. Justice होता है organization, civil services institution. Is there justice? Justice feel होना. There should be feeling of justice. Civil services एक institution है. बहुत सारे IAS, IPS है. People feel justice in civil service. Yes or no? How? और वो आने के बाद अभी तुम्हारा हो गए तुम लोग ऑफिसर्स, कोई IAS है, IPS है. लो ताम झाम हो सब. I'm talking about the people, about the constituents of this, not the people. जो as an institution of civil services जितने सारे officers हैं, that everyone should feel the justice. How?
For example, the person very high and gets good piece of this. And the person
वो तो merit है ना, वो merit based पे rank आता है, rank और service allocation. Yes, very good. Yes, say. Please don't talk among yourself. Talk with me as of now.
eligibility criteria, then we can say it is social economic expertise.
As an institution, so that is a different volume. That is differential principle. That is very much justified. Yes, transfer posting, no sense of justice. That is a different thing. Among the sources, promotions तो merit based होते, promotion में कहा तो lower services में that is justified. I think differential principle. Okay. Second ARC had made an observation about civil services. Second ARC पता है ना? Second ARC2 गवर्नमेंट ने एक कमिटी बनाई थी 2008 में कि हम ये पूरा एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन है उस पर क्या रिफॉर्म्स ला सकते. They made an observation. In civil services, people who are corrupt are rewarded with prime posting. People who are honest are punished with insignificant posting. Tukaram Munde, example, frequent transfers. Ashok Khemka. So, is there a sense of justice in civil services? People feel frustrated. Now, one more example I'll give. हमारे कैबिनेट सेक्रेटरी कौन है? Who is our cabinet secretary? Who is our cabinet secretary? PK Mishra ji, I guess. हाँ? प्रिंसिपल. कब से है ये? कितने 10 साल हो गए? सेंटर में कब से? 10 साल. 10 साल से है ना? एनए से कब से है? 2014. ये तो बहुत पहले रिटायर हो चुके थे. What rules say? He should have a tenure of 2 years so that everyone will get a chance. 10 साल से ये बन बैठे, कितने लोग रिटायर हो गए? रिटायर हो गए बहुत सारे. ये तो बहुत पहले हो गए थे. He is 75, I guess. Are other people not competent? किसी ने 21 में एग्जाम क्रैक किया. He had a bright chance to become cabinet secretary. Highest post in civil services. बस पर नहीं बन पाए. 10 साल. Sense of injustice. क्या कर सकते हैं? Government should also ensure justice in civil services. That is sense of it. People get frustrated in services. Many cases. Tukara Munde is one. Frequent transfers in Maharashtra. Ashok Khemka. यहाँ इसके पहले कोई निपेंद्र मिश्रा जी थे. वो बहुत पहले रिटायर हो चुके थे. गुजरात में भी थे. फिर ट्राई के चेयरमैन बने. मोदी जी उनको ले आए. 6-7 years he was there. He said, I'm resigning. Then his son contested elections in UP, lost. Justice. कितने लोग रिटायर हो? 3 positions have been occupied for so many years. So many people, merit-based people, competency is wasted. They are not getting that post. 2 years है. दूसरे लोग हैं. New people will bring new innovation, new changes, नए thoughts. Akbar instituted a policy of transfer once tenure is completed because they become lax. बाद में औरंगजेब इनने ये नहीं किया तो वो मुगल एम्पायर crashed. We should also learn from history. What future can be installed for us? That's why organizational justice is also very important. People should, otherwise पूरे मोरल डाउन हो जाएगा सिविल सर्विसेज. अभी भी सबका मोरल डाउन हो गया. IS महाराष्ट्र केस. See the sense of injustice. अब physically handicapped people must be few. Who has just missed the list by 1 or 2 marks? The pain. अगले साल वापस देना पड़ेगा. Already people have lot of difficulties in their life. तुम्हें भी difficulty होगी for this exam. उनकी difficulty देखो, very bad. Sense of injustice.
Candidate Central Party, a scientist in ISRO, who has been appointed.
I need to check what was the reason exactly for this.
Central Party, they had Japanese allowed, but they said he was not physically capable. He was not competent. But he has cleared them. That's why I made him.
We need to check government side also. Exactly, we don't know. Governments are very objective in service allocation. There is very less biases, but maybe this something must be wrong, or maybe government has become prejudicing. Okay, right now application of theory of justice. Which? Karmic and like?
Like this IS masterpiece. She passed from unethical means, but after she got the posting, she was exposed. It's
Karma, philosophy. Not karma, okay, but one person had courage. That person took the photograph of her vehicle. वहां से चार्ट होगा. She was using red beacon, Audi car. उसका फोटो सोशल मीडिया पे अपलोड किया. Then people started to dig. इतना arrogance कौन है जो प्रोबेशनरी है? Then people found out this is courage. Everyone should have courage. Stand against injustice. If you are not standing, you are equally responsible. You are equally unethical. West Bengal flogging case, these people are also unethical who were standing. Flogging case I showed you in first or second lecture. Moral audit, that conscience also you are not listening. That's what Kant talks about. Conscience, moral command. Listen to the moral command. Moral autonomy. Application of theory of justice. This theory has a wide application in contemporary times. First, write general context. कंटेम्प्रेरी टाइम्स, आज के जमाने में बहुत एप्लीकेशन. टाइम्स हाँ, टुडेज एरा, आज का जमाना, कंटेम्प्रेरी टाइम्स. फर्स्ट जनरल कंटेक्स्ट. फर्स्ट दो जनरल कंटेक्स्ट. इन जनरल मतलब जनरल कंटेक्स्ट. फर्स्ट हेडिंग, justice should not only be done, it should also appear to be done. This philosophy indicates the feeling of sense of justice of people. Indicates the feeling of sense of justice of people. That is, see, this justice should be felt also. बस किया नहीं, करना नहीं चाहिए, feel भी होना चाहिए. Second, individual context. People should think rationally. People should think rationally, logically, so that they can behave in fair manner, and people should have some social responsibility. especially towards poor and vulnerable section of the society. Especially towards poor and vulnerable section of the society. Third, governance. Rawls' theory is highly applicable in the field of governance today. In the field of governance today, highly applicable in the field of governance today. As social justice. Social justice is an important objective in India. Government promotes schemes for social justice. Government promotes schemes for social justice. Write your favorite schemes. Pradhan Mantri, Garib Kalyan Yojana, Jan Dhan Yojana. बाद में आएगा corporate governance में. Yes, a kind of you can relate people, well-off people responsibility towards the state. Yes, it is right. Charity also. Intention भी matter करता है. क्या intention से तुम charity करते हो? Nowadays social media fame के लिए बहुत charity करते हैं. Now, EWS reservation also social justice, economic justice. कहाँ तक schemes लिखे थे? See, Niti Aayog, National Institute of Transforming India. Important objective is social transformation. Write that also. Examples. Niti Aayog. One of the important objective is social transformation. Niti. National Institute of Transforming India, formed in 2014, by abolishing Planning Commission. See that all examples also you write that for your understanding Indira Gandhi, nationalization of banks, socialist objective, budget, today's budget, third priority is social justice, priority number 3. करें ना कॉन्फ्लिक्ट अगर होगा तो फर्स्ट होगा फर्स्ट को प्रेफर करेंगे बट गवर्नमेंट आल्सो शुड एंश्योर द राइट्स ऑफ पुअर हाँ पर गवर्नेंस इज व्हाट इज मोर इम्प्लिमेंट गवर्न कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन विल गिव यू राइट्स गवर्नेंस इज व्हाट welfare of the people. You can write that also, but more largely governance is about welfare of the people. IS का क्या काम रहता है? Welfare. Rights is given with the constitution. Government should protect the rights. Governance is done by bureaucracy, large extent. Bureaucracy is civil society and people. That is governance. पर ट्राइबल लैंड लिखो ना वो बेटर एग्जांपल व्हाई टू गो इनटू कंट्रोवर्शियल governance theory of justice is applicable as in governance theory of justice is applicable as number 1 procedural justice, that is procedure and processes should be followed by government in a fair, open and transparent manner. Fair, open and transparent manner. Open and transparent manner. Second, redistributive justice. Redistributive justice. Avoiding concentration of wealth. Even distribution of resources. Even distribution of resources. Third, organizational justice. Organizational justice. Civil services as an organ. Should have a sense of justice. Civil servants should not feel injustice is being done to them. Civil services as an organ should have sense of justice. Civil servants should not feel that injustice is being done to them. Now write your examples. ARC2 observed people, civil servants who are corrupt. ARC1 भी था, 2 हुई 1968 में ARC1 था अंडर मोरारजी देसाई. ARC2 observed civil servants who are corrupt are given prime posting. And civil servants who are honest, civil servants who are corrupt are given prime posting. Civil servants who are honest are given punishment posting. Write in bracket cabinet secretary etc. तुम्हारे समझने के लिए. Now, yes, criticism. Tell, provoke your thoughts. Socio-critical thinking. Yes, wheel of ignorance or reflective meeting of minds पे सोचो थोड़ा. Wheel of ignorance and meeting point. उस पे थोड़ा सोचो. Wheel of ignorance and meeting of mind पे सोचो. Yes. Background cannot be ignored. Humans are also prejudicing. There will be back of the mind. This is this background. I don't know whether should I tell or not. Let it be. things are recorded. One, let it be. Yes. Veil of ignorance is how?
But in differential, we are taking social economic differences. The background is considered.
Difference in philosophy principle. No, not exactly. But justice करने के लिए ना, end is justice. Is this possible meeting point? हर जगह, हर type को. Yes. Give some example where consensus or meeting point is not possible. Judiciary dissenting judge. थोड़ा broader example एक दो. I don't know. तो consensus तो आ गया, ban तो हो गया इंडिया में. Yes. Yes, पर judiciary इसमें आ गया, थोड़ा broader बता दो. Very wrong. Not legalizing same-sex marriage against human dignity and choice. Think in terms of international relations. International relations. Okay, that is also one. Meeting point नहीं हो रहा है. Okay, one example. Israel Palestine issue कब से चल रहा है? 1948. इंडिया इंडिपेंडेंस के एक साल बाद. नो का मीटिंग पॉइंट टिल नाउ चल ही रहा है. ऑल्सो इंडिया में थोड़ा मीटिंग पॉइंट आ गया था शिमला एग्रीमेंट के बाद. मिलिटेंसी एंड टेररिज्म. नो मीटिंग पॉइंट अभी तक चल रहा है. नो मीटिंग पॉइंट हियर. सो मीटिंग पॉइंट इज नॉट पॉसिबल इन एवरी सिचुएशन. जस्टिस तो बाद में आएगा, ये तो हो ही नहीं. And yes, it is when this theory is more applicable. जहाँ पे थोड़ी homogeneity हो. Diversity में different people, different background, not possible. It's more useful for Western countries. Developing country like India, very diverse. So many languages, so many race, caste, and different kind of people also. Eating snake, biting snake. These are three important criticisms. One, I will tell after you write down this thing. Then I will explain one theory also that once have come in UPSC. First ये तीन लिख लो. Criticism. Although it is very popular in contemporary times, although it is more popular in contemporary times, but has some criticisms. First, wheel of ignorance may not always be relevant. As background of people is also important. Background of people is also important. May not completely disassociate morally and emotionally. Emotionally, emotion, morally and emotionally from themselves. From themselves. हम background हमेशा याद भी रखते. We cannot morally and we cannot forget our caste, religion. We are associated with that. Morally and emotionally also. Second, there may not be an agreement. There may not be an agreement on original point. On original point. That is the meeting of minds may not happen. Example, issue of Israel and Palestine. Terrorism and militancy in India. Terrorism and militancy in India. Third, theory of justice is more relevant in a homogeneous society. Not in a heterogeneous society. In a homogeneous society, it is more relevant, not in a heterogeneous, मतलब diverse society, like India. Now, one more criticism, important criticism. Amartya Sen is very critical of this theory. He says, justice does not mean everyone requires justice. He gives an example. He says, there is a pie. You understand pie? Cake samajh lo. He gives example of pie. 3 people are there. Justice will be 3 parts. Everyone should get equal part of the cake. But does each of the 3 people need the cake? Some may not need. Some may need more. They are more hungry. So, justice will give each one. But does everyone needs it? This question is not asked. Another example he gives. There are 2 people. Person A, person B. Both are fasting. Fasting समझते हो? उपवास. You people will also, I guess, Shravan people keep upwas. You're fasting based on a choice. Monk fast based on a choice. Poor people is also fasting. He doesn't have a choice. No choice. It's a matter of choice. Both are doing the same thing. But what about their choice? What government does? Government gives food to the poor people. This is his way. Rawls theory of justice. You give justice to him. You food grains, social economic benefits. But What he says, Amartya Sen, don't give them benefits, develop their capability. Don't dole out benefits, capability approach. Capability, he says, will come from education and health. If you give him, develop his capability, he will have the choice. He interprets development as choice, and this development is freedom. समझ गए? Capability, you develop his capability, health and education. That is what is Kerala model of development. More focus on health and education. What is Gujarat model of development? You know, think. Tell in terms of those theories which we had discussed. Yes, benefit more than cost. Gujarat model of development. Create 3-4 entrepreneurs. They will generate wealth. They will give tax. They will provide employment, and benefits will trickle down to the poor. फोन सस्ता कर दिया, तुम्हारे लिए बेनिफिट, उसको और पैसा दो. But Gujarat model of development has a flaw. Human beings are also nasty, brutish, and short. He will evade taxes, money laundering. He will manipulate the stock market. So, capability approach, Kerala model of development. This question has directly come in UPSC in GS2. It directly asks, explain capability approach of Amartya Sen. Generally, one should, मतलब ये थोड़ा out of syllabus हो गया था. But UPSC asked, I guess 17-18 some year they asked. So this is what is capability approach. Understood? Should I tell again? Should I tell again? Capability approach. Yeah, just theory of justice will give to everyone one slice. But justice equality भी है. So Amartya Sen was basically against socio-economic benefits from the government. That he wants to. That everyone has the capability. They should rather you should focus development in terms of choice. The choice though, food grains मत दो. Develop their capability through health and education. Don't dole out. I guess like ऐसे भी आया था UPSC में. Doling out something is better than. एक साल में आ गया था देखना. Exact ये statement दिया. Don't give them doles, empower them. ऐसा कुछ statement था. So choice. Extreme situation में मतलब food grains देंगे सब मार. That is a matter of choice also. Na? I don't have choice for food grains. I'm dying. Choice hota health education. That's why Kerala ranks very high. Global Hunger Index, India, hungry to world's largest population. Developed countries rank Global Hunger Index, Human Development Index. Human Development उनका ज़्यादा रहता है, hunger में कम रहता है, हम उल्टा है. Because this health and education is very good in developed countries. That Hathras case incident happened. How the dead bodies they were taken in tempos, in trains. No dignity even after death. Health and education. Now write Amartya Sen. Write down. Amartya Sen is a strong critique of theory of justice. नोबेल प्राइज विनर, अभी ज्यादा टाइम यूएस में रहते हैं, इंडिया में कम आते हैं। Amartya Sen is a strong critic of theory of justice, especially the concept of reflective equilibrium. Amartya Sen is a strong critique of theory of justice, especially the concept of reflective equilibrium. Reflective equilibrium. He criticizes a lot. He gives an example. If there are three persons who share a pie, each one getting 1/3, will be a reflective equilibrium. He is getting 1/3, will be a reflective equilibrium. Reflective equilibrium. But does every person deserves a pie? It asks the question. Does everyone deserves the pie? Some person may not require the pie at all. See, before, I guess there was universal subsidy for gas cylinders, right? Everyone is, but does everyone require that subsidy? No. मोदी जी ने सबको मॉरल कॉन्सेप्ट देगा, गिव अप द सब्सिडी दे दो, फिर सब्सिडी हटा दी सबकी, पुअर पीपल की भी। सिलेंडर 1000 रुपए, पुअर पीपल बाइंग। उज्ज्वला में 2 सिलेंडर फ्री थे, फिर सबकी सब्सिडी हट गई। Write that monk example also. Monk example. Right. If 2 persons are fasting, one is poor and other is a monk. Monk, Tibetan monk. The monk is fasting as a matter of choice. Poor person does not have a choice. Therefore, he talks about human capability approach. human capability approach. That is, state should ensure people are capable of making their decisions, about their choice. Rather than government doling out benefits, dole. He emphasized on, rather than government doling out benefits, he emphasized on number one, development should bring freedom. Number two, development means people are living their life as per their choice. There should be freedom and choice. That is what he's trying. Views development as freedom and choice. These are the two important aspects. Cut these and write the two important aspects. Cut these, write the instead of these. The two important aspects. These को मिटा दो और the लिखो the वहाँ. The two important aspects of enhancing people's capability are health and education. In general, he talks about empowerment approach. In general, he talks about empowerment approach. Empowerment. Empower the people. Empowerment. Approach. Example, Kerala model of development. Kerala model of development. See, a question can also come. Write on empowerment approach or capability approach. So this is the approach of Amartya Sen you have to write. Don't get confused with the wordplay. Sometimes UPSC does in question. So basically, theory of justice is very important. Contemporary times when mob lynching is happening, whatnot is happening. So people will get a sense of justice. Vigilantism is happening. People are vigilating, ye mat khao, wo mat khao. Incidents come to light when some vehicles are stopped cattle are being carried. Where is justice? किसके फ्रिज में बोलते ये मीट था वो मीट था. No justice. Very important. Right to privacy. Should I make you write Aadhaar case also, or should I make you write Aadhaar case? You know. So write conclusion first, then write Aadhaar case also. Since justice and social justice has become very challenging to achieve, in the present context, theory of justice provides individual, society and administration to follow and propagate his ideals. To follow and propagate his ideals. Like the issue of mob lynching, vigilantism, when privacy is being compromised. थोड़ा देख लो कि ये issues अभी थोड़े contemporary है. So theory of justice becomes mob lynching, vigilantism. हाँ हाँ तो सी यहाँ पे हम लिख रहे हैं कंटेम्प्रेरी इश्यूज में ये इंपॉर्टेंट है. कंटेम्प्रेरी इश्यूज आर जो हो रहे हैं, मॉब लिंचिंग हो रही है, विजिलेंटिज्म हो रहा है. हाँ ये जो हो रहा है इसलिए दिस इज रेलेवेंट. थियरी ऑफ जस्टिस, विजिलेंटिज्म, पीपल आर विजिलेंट कि ये खुद अपना लॉ. हाँ वो ट्रक जा रही है रोक लेते, मारते पीटते. Vigilantism. They say right to privacy has also become an issue. Now, interesting thing at airport. There is a separate line. If you scan your face, you have a separate line. There is not many people to go. If you go without scanning your face, lot of people. But they are scanning your face. What they are doing with your data? Ministry of Civil Aviation. डिजी यात्रा करके कुछ लॉन्च किया. या स्कैनिंग योर फेस, लिंकिंग योर फेस विथ आधार, ऑल्सो लिंकिंग योर आधार विथ योर ट्रैवल हिस्ट्री. प्राइवेसी इज बीइंग वॉयलेटेड. पता नहीं कैसे चल रहा. मे बी सुप्रीम कोर्ट हैज टू कम अगेन. दे आर नॉट फोर्सिंग यू, बट सी दिस गेट इज फॉर स्कैनिंग, दिस फॉर लॉट ऑफ पीपल आर हियर. टू ईज ऑफ ट्रैवलिंग विल गो फ्रॉम हियर. Data is being stored. Privacy is becoming challenging. See, is it okay if our class goes a bit further now? थोड़ा और एक आध घंटा हो सकता है. Feminist ethics I wanted to teach. जाना है यार. I am older to you. I am speaking. You are just sitting and writing. ऐसा है क्या? तो ठीक है, आधार का लिखो, फेमिनिस्ट एथिक्स कल करते हैं. इंटरेस्टिंग टॉपिक है बहुत. नहीं आंसर भी लिखना है ना. लिखना है ना आंसर. तो बताओ कि कल करना है आंसर राइटिंग. यार कल पर नहीं, घर से नहीं लिखना है, यही लिखना है लाइव. And be mentally prepared to sit for some more time. Okay. I plan to finish feminist ethics also today. I plan to finish feminist ethics also today. चलो आधार ही लिख लो यार। यार एटलीस्ट 3 hours you come mentally prepared to sit, है ना? It's 2.5 hours only. आधार and theory of justice. आधार आधार आधार. I think I have explained how Aadhaar privacy issue happened. Poor people, socio-economic rights were compromised, privacy was violated. So, equality principle, Aadhaar and theory of justice, already explained how Aadhaar compromised the privacy in the name of socio-economic benefits. So, Supreme Court said rights are also important. So, rights, which principle? Equality principle. They give preference to equality principle and not the differential principle. Differential, poor people, socio-economic benefits. Ye important, first principle. This is Aadhaar case. 9 judges sat in that judgment, 9. Constitutional bench considered right to privacy is inherent in Article 21, right to life. Like said earlier, favorite area of UPSC, every other year in mains, prelims, they keep on asking about this. Some judge dissented also, I guess Chandrachud dissented. He said, पूरा आधार को डीलिंग की कर दो तुम, आधार शुड नॉट बी यूज्ड. हमारे ये फिंगर सब स्टोर करके बैठ, तुम्हारा डिलीट कर दिया, ना मोबाइल चलेगा ना कुछ चलेगा, कहीं जाओगे जा भी नहीं पाओगे. सो हाउ प्राइवेसी, साइबर अटैक हो गया वो डेटाबेस पे, क्या करोगे? तुम्हारा डेटा सब बाहर भेज दिया, ब्लैक वेब, डार्क वेब, उस पे. Now write down. Aadhaar has been controversial because of giving preference. Aadhaar has been controversial because of giving preference to socio-economic benefits over political rights. Preference to Aadhaar has been controversial because it was giving preference to socio-economic rights over political rights. Somehow there is a perception that poor people have no use of privacy rights. Poor people have no use of privacy rights. That is, right to privacy is not important as socio-economic benefit is. As there were no safeguards in Aadhaar, there were no safeguards, there was no protection, there was no safeguards for the rights of the poor people. The 9-judge bench In the Putta Swami case, recognized right to privacy as intrinsic part of fundamental rights. Intrinsic, it's implicit in fundamental rights. Intrinsic part of fundamental rights. This judgment makes it clear. This judgment makes it clear some rights are essential for human dignity and existence. Existence. Can you live without privacy? It's matter of our dignity. Everyone, if is keeping you a watch, what you are doing whole day, what you are eating, it's against human dignity. My rights are not respected. Should I end or should we continue? Social economic rights, food grains, their data. There was a provision that their data will be shared with private companies also. Now, before you go, I want you to think about something. We feminist ethics का थोड़ा मैं बताता हूँ. See, till now ethics, what we have discussed. What we have discussed in ethics. Have you come across any female thinker? It only all males. They are talking about courage, rationality. Any female values? Female values, I mean from female perspective of that time. Female and male values can be similar also from that time. That is feminist ethics. We'll discuss in detail. Now come with preparation to sit more also.